Welcome to the Matt Wilkie podcast.
Marrying a Filipina, you marry the family. Quite a common phrase. But I would actually say it all depends on the expat, because I'd say 90% of the expats that can grumble about it set themselves up for it when they initially get married. You have to understand, you have your own cultures, your own beliefs, your own choices. When you marry somebody, it doesn't mean that you have to absorb everything that they're bringing to the marriage and give up on your own. This is where people go wrong, because they just simply sit there quietly and absorb everything and take everything on, instead of actually setting boundaries and stuff. Because it's a bit like when you deal with kids, because what you find with kids is they constantly push the boundaries to see how far they can go. But once you start setting the rules, these sort of things can protect you, as well as make life easier all round. So when you do get people actually trying to see how far they can push you, for example, expecting you to pay for meals, or asking you about, my child needs sponsorship, or this sort of stuff, you can go with a deaf ear. Filipinos do it all the time. Filipinos will get people ask them for stuff, and they will quite happily ignore it, as if the conversation never happened. The main thing here is you got to stand your ground, because the more you give, the more people will want. And then when you cut it off later, all the little tantrums start. So what you need to do is actually make sure that at day one, you put yourself in a position where you're not opening a checkbook or a wallet to accommodate a load of people that are they parasitical? I'd have to question that, because from a social aspect, in the sense of socialism, it's about sharing the wealth. But at the same time, a lot of these guys would not share their wealth with you. They might give you a tandoori, they might give you a beer, but they wouldn't give you half their house. So don't get into it. That's what I'm saying. Is simply avoid it. The main thing is setting those boundaries to protect yourself, but it also protects your wife, in the sense that every time they're going to bug for something, they're going to ask her directly more than you. So the way I do it is quite simply, if anybody wants anything, they've got to ask me. They don't ask my wife, they've got to ask me direct. And although they all go, oh, yeah, but she's our niece, daughter, whatever, you say, no, that's my wife. You've got to respect that. She is married to me. I'm the financial breadwinner. So if you want anything, you contact me and we speak direct. There's no reason for you to talk to my wife whatsoever. That will actually put off about 90% of people, because they've lost manipulation. Because they're going to have a valid reason to contact you in the first place. Or the fact that you're not going to be so easy to just hand over money. You're going to actually question everything and expect to have some facts. For example, there's a medical emergency. Which hospital is it? Who can I speak to at the hospital? You're going to ask for more details, where you will find a lot of partners will automatically just give the money without a second thought, because they trust their family. It's just the way things are. But it doesn't mean you have to accept it. You need to understand that when people are pushing their culture on you, you've got to push back and say, I have my own culture, I have my own beliefs, I have my own choices. I'm marrying your daughter. You have to respect my choices and beliefs. You have your own, that's fine. But I'm not asking you for anything, so it's a two-way street. Don't ask me. So you just have to sit and gauge things and weigh them up. You need to turn around and say, okay, well, what's going to be a problem and what isn't? For example, if your in-laws suffer with health issues, then is that going to put a strain on your marriage? That, your wife's going to expect you to help out with medical bills, or is her brother a drunk? As such, you should actually be quite strong in saying there's no point giving him any money whatsoever. He's going to drink himself to death. There's a lot of conversations that need to happen to protect yourself from it. I generally don't have these problems. We cut them off 5 years ago. So I do understand when you start getting manipulative relatives coming in out of the woodwork because they just see the foreigner as a cash cow. But at the same time, treat it the way they're treating you. They're treating you with no respect. They're treating you with no compassion, no... the main thing is respect. They've got no respect for you. As such, don't give them any. Treat them as they treat you. Because you'll find the key ones that are creating the problems will be the aunts, the uncles, the extended bits of family that are just seeing this as an opportunity rather than having a new member of the family. They just see it as a way to rob somebody else blind. As such, be a bit more aggressive with it. Don't just accept everything at face value just because that it's your wife's aunt. Your wife's this. Oh, she's my aunt, but so what? I don't care. It's not your money. I earn it. And as such, anything that needs to come out of my pocket needs to be discussed. Anything that needs to be discussed has to be a value. And if anybody's caught stealing or whatever, I only do it once. And you find you may end up with the odd one or two instances where you've lost money due to somebody being a thief or a liar. But hey ho, every time somebody else asks, you just say, last time I did something, people stole from me, so I don't do it anymore. They've given you the opportunity to actually use their own thefts against themselves. But don't just accept, you have to accept what you're being pushed into. That's just crazy, man. That's right. Thanks for listening.